So I teach a class in product design, human factors engineering for product design. I teach the senior level capstone class where they have to kind of do their senior research projects and come up with new products.
So I was thinking that we could position the base, except there's this electronics board that goes like onto the side. So it's
My role is mostly as facilitator, so I find these interesting technologies and these interesting problems, and I sort of give them the tools, give them the process they've learned, design process. That's the area that I work in. And so we've taught the students through their first 3 years the basics of design, how to go about addressing human factors engineering and engineering psychology issues. And then for their senior project, they have to use all of these skills that they've been taught over the first 3 years to actually come up with an innovative new design product. And this year, the theme was Classroom of the Future. So we made this blog site where students could come and post their blogs. And so there's these different, each student has their own blog. This is one looking at an app that would help reduce food waste. And this student was thinking about investigating shared smart boards. And so they were looking at how might technology influence the classroom of the future. And a few of the teams decided to look at virtual reality. So we're doing research in a couple of different areas. Human factors in general. So, you know, if you're wearing one of these Oculus headsets, one of the first questions is how will you as a user control the system and interact with the system? So we have some students doing research on that. Essentially, you know, you put it on, it looks like a scuba mask, and it has 2 screens and speakers for your ears. And when you put it on, you're immediately in this kind of virtual world. This is one of the students who ultimately ended up working on virtual reality. And so in his blogs, he was exploring how it might be used in the classroom to teach them about estimation. But one of the challenges with the Oculus Rift is that it's a pretty expensive system. But a few of the other teams are designing games that you can use with Google Cardboard. And that's what this is. It's basically just a simple cardboard box that you can put your phone in, and suddenly you have something like a virtual reality system. This is looking at using virtual reality for teaching basic STEM education. I think that it's important that they have some kind of mechanism to practice at kind of talking about their work and research to the outside world. Here's the Facebook group for the capstone class that actually thousands of people could look at. It does force them to kind of engage with it more seriously and make it something that is part of the public record. I like to try new things out in the classroom. Sometimes it's an absolute failure, sometimes it works out pretty well. I was happy to hear that the students have appreciated the use of new technologies and the challenges that come along with new technologies. I think that's a big part of it. You know, whenever we have these new technologies come into the system of education, there's uncertainty as to how they'll actually come into play. And it's nice to hear that the students appreciated being exposed to these new technologies and being challenged by them.